All right, welcome back to Perdido Key Gaming. Got another board game for you. Remember what I said about games? If you have cats, can't freaking, have games like this set up. This game is Mage, comes from Whiz Kids. It's a board game. Obviously, fantasy-based type game. It's for 1 to 4 players. Yes, you can play, solitaire. Warning, choking hazard. Don't let your kids grab the pieces. But this game definitely, can take up some real estate on your gaming table. I have not yet been able to set it up or play it, but I have gone through the rules. You definitely, definitely going to have some. Turn off the lights so you can see this glares. But you've got tracks. Basically, it's an exploration game, and it's a fog of war type exploration game. So, what you're doing is you're trying to discover, where the cities are, where the castles are, but they come in these. What do you call these? Septagonal? Seven tile things, and you put the tiles together to make up, where what the countryside is going to look like, and there's going to be castles, there's going to be towns, monasteries, all sorts of things to encounter an adventure. And the rules explain that these guys are on an exploration, date, on an exploration mission, and they're trying to win influence and gain influence and influence their neighbors or something like that. But you're definitely you start out fairly weak, and you're trying to get troops and things like that. Comes with quite a stack of cards to play with. It's not a deck building game or a living card game or anything like that. I would imagine that there are expansions to it and everything like that. Tons of counters, tons of things to to play with. Each of your your Mage Knights has a little figurine. Some of these guys look evil, some don't. But you got things to put on the board. Your characters, your monsters. Well, not too many monsters and things like that, but that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be going out and finding, basically buffing yourself up until you can take over the countryside, and you can seize castles and find out a way to put these guys back in there. But you can seize castles, you can seize burn monasteries to the ground if that's what you like to do and everything like that. But not necessary. I suppose even it would be the way that these guys look, that you don't have to be a bad guy, of course. You build up your hand because that's what you're going to be using to play around, or during an encounter and everything like that, or during the game itself while you're wandering around, trying to explore. And you get to the edge of the map. You still have to go and explore, and so these tiles are only laid out in certain ways. They have to match up, with each other and things like that. So it's definitely fog of war. You don't know where things are until you get there. And you got to watch out for the goblins and the orcs and stuff that might show up and or react to you, because it's basically nobody's playing the monsters or anything like that. that's what happens, is they are automatically triggered and things like that. So, but it's fortunately, you know, the rule book is you know, the usual big old chunking, not huge like, you know, Starfleet Battles or anything like that, Dungeons and Dragons, but it's got a pretty good rule book. Tells you how everything works, combat with enemies. You can gang up on a city with another Mage Knight. There's player versus player combat, of course. You know, you're healing everybody. You're healing yourself. You're healing your troops. You know, you might want to have to get rid of your troops because it's too expensive to heal them. But that's, you know, it tells you how the map's going to be laid out. Okay, you know, that's the way it is. You know, you get the first 3 tiles for free, and then after that, it's you know, who knows. Plenty of variant rules. You know, not just picking what your hero is, but auctioning off which hero. Map variability. The city levels. Cities can be from big cities to small cities, or small cities to big cities. You know, friendly game. There's no interactive spells, no player versus player. You know, you can lend your mana to somebody else. Interactive combat, more deck building and things like that. And, you know, there's a scenario list. You know, first reconnaissance, 2 to 4 players, and there's a solo variant. Full conquest, full cooperation, solo conquest, druid knights, dungeon lords. So, you know, there's plenty of things to do. And of course, since the game is Fog of War based, no game is the same. The only thing that's going to remain the same is the way that the AI, you know, the AI monsters attack you and things like that. So, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. I mean, you can, you know, as long as you can. It seems like it would take a long time. That's why I warn. Yeah, like I said, don't have cats. You know, but the game walkthrough, which is a good thing. Okay, so you get a separate pamphlet book teaching you how to set it up and how to play. You know, you want to probably, I would say, go through this one first, right? You know, your deed cards, you get wounds, so the wound cards go in the deed deck. So, you know, you don't want to draw your wound card. You want one of your good cards, you know, in a combat. But yeah, that's basically it, you know, and it could be, you know, day and night. Mana, you know, the typical red, blue, green, white mana, along with special mana, you know, whether it's day or night, there's other mana, and those are generated by dice. So there's a fixed amount of mana that you can use to cast your spells or do things. And the cards, you know, the cards might be a magic spell or something, or an action or something, but they can all be used for 4 different things: to move, to attack, to defend, and things like that. So if you're stuck with only, you know, nothing you can use during an encounter, at least you can attack, at least you can defend yourself, you know, albeit poorly. So village, you know, you go into a village, you can hire troops, things like that. You can go to a monastery, you can go to a wizard's tower, things like that, to get more spells. You can get these crystals from the crystals mines, which add mana, but they're like potions or spell books or something like that you can sit over on the side and use them when you need to, you know. So, but that's the way it goes. The keep, you know, the Mage Tower, like I was talking about, revealing a monastery, revealing a monster den, and revealing a dungeon. So you can go down here and beat up on some monsters and maybe get some stuff. Same with the dungeon, of course. The ruins, same way, but the ruins have more stuff in them. So that's probably pretty exciting, you know, just like that game from back in the 70s, Magic Realm, which was another one of those games that was not Fog of War, but had variant setups the entire time. That's sort of like what this game is, except it's nowhere near as complex in combat as Magic Realm was, or is, because you can still find copies of that game. You know, your characters level up, you know, the rounds end, full rules, the night game, final, and you're scoring points, although I'm sure, you know, that's not necessarily the end-all, be-all. You know, the greatest knowledge, greatest loot, greatest leader, conquer, adventure, and the greatest beatdown, whoever, you know. So whoever has the most fame is now the winner of the first scenario. So, but that's pretty much it for Magnite. You know, there's not very many, you know, different kinds of enemies and things like that, but it provides enough, you know, it provides enough variant to, you know, give you something to do every time you step in a new hex, you know, something. But yeah, that's it. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know if there's, I didn't do my research beforehand. I don't know if there's any expansions to Magnite. But it does seem like something that could be added on to. Vlada Shvatil, what is that? Is Czech. But you know, definitely seems like a fun game. It's from WizKids. Check it out. Let me know what you think.